This is important. Old textbook briefly noted the word Aryabhatta in a chapter on number system. The new textbook states that in 499 CE, the ancient mathematician provided a value of 62832 divided by 20,000 is equal to 3.1416, that is for pi. लीलावती एक ट्रिटाइज है मैथमेटिक्स का जो बहुत कम लोगों ने पढ़ा हुआ है। अब ज्योमेट्रिक के बारे में क्या है? However ancient a book may be in which a system of trigonometry occurs, we may be assured it was not written in the infancy of science. Friends, the issue a bit old, but the way NCERT is changing the content, I'm not happy with that. I don't think the experts in NCERT, the present experts, they even don't know how to write history. And even the reporters, they are worthless. Somebody who has the knowledge of the content should write articles about, but nothing does. I have made 3 videos on astronomy in ancient India. I have a video on surgery in ancient India and also medicine in ancient India. And NCERT has already decided to spread the message of Indology through its text, but I don't think they are doing anything major about it. Even the change which they have advocated, it is only a cosmetic change. What does it say? The class 9 mathematics textbooks by NCERT calls the Sindhu Saraswati civilization the first systematic use of grid-based thinking, says Ujjain in Madhya Pradesh. Now here 2 points are important. Sindhu Saraswati civilization they are writing, but without clearing why should we call it Sindhu Saraswati. It was Indus civilization, Sindhu, but now because more than 2/3 sites and even the oldest ones, Bhirana and diverse sites, Sinoli, they have been discovered here. So it's better to call it Saraswati civilization, but even this combination is not bad. And what is the importance of Ujjain? Ayodhya, Mathura, Maya, Kashi, Kanchi, Avantika, Puri, Dwaravati, Shaiv, Saptaita, Mokshadaika is called Avantika, one of the places where directly you can attain moksha. Anyway, marked the central longitude meridian in the ancient world. Even now you have it, that observatory that is there. Whenever you visit Ujjain, you can. The 196-page text titled Ganit Manjari Part 1. The earlier textbook only made a limited reference to ancient India, and as if the new one is doing much more. Mathematician Buddhayana, laying the foundation of coordinate geometry. Ancient Indian thinker Brahmagupta formalized the notion and use of zero and the negative numbers as algebraic entities. Brahmagupta, 5th century. Zero is much more older than that. The question is when the practice of zero started and nobody can tell. Yesterday I was reading about Surya Siddhanta. When they have told you about the motion of stars, that is something like around, they claim that it is about 2000 BC up to 15,000 BC. Nobody can exactly predict when it was written. It was written around 5th CE, but when it was composed, nobody knows. And see the greatness of the person, he never wrote his name also on the book. And that at that time that zero was known, and it is not that it is 5th century. Urbanization and this, that we already know. A paragraph in the same chapter, Ujjaini was described in the ancient world as early as 4th century BCE in early Siddhantas as the point marking the central longitude meridian from which all other local locations were measured. I told you, whenever you go to Ujjain, you can go to the 5 observatories that have been there throughout the country. It is one of the comparatively detailed ones. The old textbook didn't discuss the discovery of zero. Rigved set the stage for the number system based on power of 10. But when was the Rigved written or composed or brought to people's knowledge? Again, nothing is written. The textbook links the concept of zero to philosophy. Again, zero is there. The philosophical concept of emptiness. Again, it is zero. This is important. Old textbook briefly noted the word of Aryabhatta in a chapter on number system. The new textbook states that in 499 CE, the ancient mathematician provided a value of 62832 divided by 20,000 is equal to 3.1416, that is for pi. Pi, which the Western scientists, they could convincingly make it in the 18th century. From 16th to 18th century, you can say. Hmm? The new textbook states that Brahmagupta suggested the use of 3.1622 for pi, which becomes the dominant approximation in the Arab world and the medieval Europe for centuries after. It is well known that all these researches that were made by our rishis were basically scientists. The Arabs, the Abbasids, the wisest people in the Arab world, they translated everything from our side and they recognized the contribution of India also. But Europe, they grabbed it from Arabs and they even don't recognize the contribution of Arabs. Forget about Indians. And all this contribution that is there, the old textbooks, there's this new, there's this, but they, Habib, the work of Madhava and the scholars was a key precursor to modern calculus. How it was not the earliest development in this field. It is easy to criticize. But what was the earliest development? Amber, brother of mathematics of Shiv Naraj University, Noida, disputed some claims about Brahmagupta. It is wrong to depict Brahmagupta as the creator of negative numbers. Chinese mathematicians were using. Now, this is the problem with our scientists, our artists, our historians. You will give credit to any Tom, Dick, and Harry, but you will not try to explore. I told you about Surya Siddhant. Nobody talks about it. Now, this is what NCERT says, what the historians of British Times say 200 years ago also. I don't think these people, they have ever read it, but this is the time of social media. Anything you can get. If I have the original references also, but I'm just quoting from one book which is easily available. It is Sharda's book, Har Prasad Sharda, I think, 1906, Hindu Superiority. He has combined all these. So I didn't think that I'll give you the original sources, but authentic sources are there. What does say right from the beginning? During the 8th and 9th century, the Indians became the teachers in arithmetic and algebra of Arabs. What I'm telling you about the Abbasids. And through them of the nations of the West. Thus, though we call the latter science by Arabic names, it is a gift we owe to India. Who says this? It is History of Sanskrit Literature, 1900, Professor McDowell. After translating Vyas Bhashya Sutra 13, para 3, Dr. P.C. Roy, familiar to the Hindu when the Vyas Bhashya was written, that is centuries before the first appearance of the notation in the writings of the Arabs or the Greco-Syrian intermediaries. Some of you know this historian, Monier Williams. For them, the Arabs received not only their first conception of algebraic analysis, but also those numerical symbols and decimal notions now current everywhere in Europe, and which have rendered untold service to the progress of arithmetical science. To whatever encyclopedic journal or essay we refer, we uniformly find out the numeral trace to India and the Arabs recognized as the medium through which they were introduced into Europe. And what the Hunter says, to them, the Hindus, we owe the invention of the numerical symbols on the decimal scale. The Indian figures 1 to 9 being abbreviated forms of initial letters of the numerals themselves, and the 0 representing the first letter of the Sanskrit word for empty, shunya. Actually, this whole literature of 18th and 19th century of British, German, French, even Scandinavians, they have delved into the researches done by Indians. Professor Weber says it is not Weber of sociology. It is them, the Hindus, also that we owe the ingenious invention of the numerical symbols, which is like manner passed from them to the Arabs and reached to European scholars, but the latter, who were the disciples of Arabs, frequent allusion is made to the Indians and uniformly in terms of high esteem, and one Sanskrit word, even Uch, has passed into the Latin translations of Arabian astronomers. Even the Algebraic concedes their claim to the invention of numerical ciphers. Many फिर प्रोफेसर वेलिस क्या कहते हैं? लीलावती, लीलावती एक ट्रिटाइज है मैथमेटिक्स का जो बहुत कम लोगों ने पढ़ा हुआ है. Contains not only the common rules of that science but application of these to various questions of interest, barter, mixture, combinations, permutations, sums of progression, intermediate problems, and mensuration of surfaces and solids. The rules are found to be exact and nearly as simple as the present state of analytical investigation. ये सारा कुछ जो है हम लोग we never feel proud about because हमें पता ही नहीं है, क्योंकि हमें पढ़ाया ही नहीं जाता. अब ज्योमेट्रिक के बारे में क्या है? However ancient a book may be in which a system of trigonometry occurs, we may be assured it was not written in the infancy of science. Geometry must have been known in India long before the writing of सूर्य सिद्धांत. जाहिर है कि जब सूर्य सिद्धांत आपको दे रहा है, लोकेशंस दे रहा है, एल्टीट्यूड दे रहा है, लैटिट्यूड दे रहा है, तो यूरोपियंस कहते हैं कि बिफोर 2000 BC, लेकिन बहुत सारे लोगों का कहना है कि नहीं, उसको आप जो है अभी तक ऐसी रिसर्च ही नहीं हुई कि आप उसको पहचान सकें. सूर्य सिद्धांत contains a rational system of trigonometry which differs entirely from that of the first known in Greece or Arabia. In fact, it is founded on a geometrical theorem which was not known to the geometricians of Europe before the time of Vieta, about 200 years ago. And it implies the signs of arcs, a thing unknown to the Greeks, who used the chords of double arcs. ये चाप का जो कंसेप्ट है, जो आर्क का कंसेप्ट है, ये हमारा कंसेप्ट था, उनका कंसेप्ट नहीं था ये, तो इसलिए उनको सर्कल के बारे में जानकारी भी नहीं थी. तो उसी के बेस पे जो साइन थीटा और कॉस थीटा जो है, जो हमने बनाए, उन्होंने अपनी लैंग्वेज यूज की और फिर क्लेम कर लिया अपना. Insistence is in the Surya Siddhanta is contained a system of trigonometry which not only goes far beyond anything known to the Greeks but involves theorems which were not discovered in Europe till 2 centuries ago. 17th-18th century तक जो है उनको नहीं पता था. In expressing the radius of a circle in parts of the circumference, the Hindus are quite singular. Ptolemy and the Greek mathematicians in their division of the radius preserve no reference to the circumference. The use of signs, जैसे मैं बता रहा हूँ, as it was unknown to the Greeks, formed a difference between theirs and the Indian trigonometry. This rule for the computation of the lines is a considerable refinement in science, first practiced by the mathematician Greek of 18th century or late 17th century, you can say. Count Jyotsna, इनकी एक किताब है, हिंदू, आई फॉरगॉट द नेम, 1844 की लिखी हुई किताब है. आगे देखते हैं. We find in Aine Akbari, a journal of the Emperor Akbar, that the Hindus of former times assumed the diameter of a circle to be its periphery as 12502 to 3927. The ratio of 12502 is very close approximate to the quadrature of a circle and differs very little from that given by Matthias of 1132-355. In order to obtain the result thus found by the Brahmins, even in the most elementary and the simplest way, it is necessary to inscribe it a circle of polygon of 768 sides. एक सर्कल की 768 साइड्स बना करके आप ये बता सकते हैं. मेरे को नाम भूल रहा है यना का, हिंदू थियोगोनी 1844, जिसमें वो बात करते हैं कि एडम जो है ये कोई, he was not the father of humanity. He came to the world about 3700 years ago and he lived somewhere in the West Asia. मेरे को एग्जैक्ट उसका याद नहीं है, फिर वक्त होगा तो वीडियो बनाएंगे. स्क्वायर रूट ऑफ द 9th पावर, an operation which cannot be performed arithmetically without the knowledge of some peculiar properties of this curved line and at least an extraction of the square root of the 9th power, each to the 10th places of decimals. The Greek and the Alps have not given anything so approximate. So all these researches which are there, your Theogony of the Hindus, I was telling you 1844, these are freely available. These are available to all scientists, all historians, mathematicians, geometricians, cosmologists. Why can't they find out? And even if they have to reject, let them go through, let them confirm, and then only they should come to it. Colebrook क्या कह रहा है? A solution given by Bhaskaracharya is exactly same as that hit by Lord Bronte in 1657. And that the general solution of the same problem was unsuccessfully attempted by Euler and only accomplished by de Lagrange in 1767 AD, although it had been as completely given by Brahmagupta. Well, I can show you on and on, but the question is that all these researches that we had, हमारे ऋषियों ने जो है सालों साल एवरी मिनट, एवरी सेकेंड, एवरी पल जितना डेडिकेशन से काम किया, हमारे पास उतना भी टाइम नहीं है कि हम उनके नॉलेज को समझें और फिर समझ के अप्रिशिएट करें। ये वेस्टर्नर्स हमें बताएंगे कि ये ऐसे करके गए हैं, हमारे हिस्टोरियंस क्या कर रहे हैं। हमारे एक डॉक्टर C.K. राजू हैं, उनका क्लेम ये है कि फिजिक्स में ये यूक्लिड की बहुत तारीफ करते हैं यूरोप वाले। उनका कहना है कि वो चैलेंज करते हैं कि वो प्रूव कर दें कि यूक्लिड नाम का आदमी कभी रहता भी था। वो 2 लाख रुपया इनाम देने को तैयार है। आज तक कोई नहीं आया सामने। ये बात 10-15 साल पुरानी हो गई है, हो सकता है उन्होंने दाम भी बढ़ा दिया हो। उनकी एक वीडियो है ए टेल ऑफ 2 कैलेंडर्स, आई थिंक मस्ट वॉच एवरीबॉडी। किस तरह से वेस्टर्न ने कैलेंडर बनाया और क्या बेवकूफ़ियाँ की, क्या उनकी साइंस की प्रोग्रेस थी। You know, when Vasco da Gama came here, how he reached? Indian sailors brought him here. उनके पास इतनी नॉलेज नहीं थी। Columbus also wanted to visit India. What happened to him? उसकी कंपास में 43 डिग्री का एरर था। इतने बड़े साइंटिस्ट थे वो लोग, पहुंच गया साउथ अमेरिका। इतनी बड़ी बड़ी डिस्कवरीज की, इन्वेंशन की। I'll talk more about some other issue, preferably on the architecture in ancient India or the maritime trade of ancient India. That will be helpful. But I wish that we try to learn, we try to know ourselves more and more. क्योंकि अपने बारे में जब जानेंगे हम, तभी हम आगे के बारे में सोच सकते हैं। आप किसी और की नकल करके आगे नहीं बढ़ सकते। आप पास्ट को जान के, प्रेजेंट समझ के, तभी आप फ्यूचर की डायरेक्शन डिसाइड कर सकते हैं। तो विश्वगुरु बनने का सपना यूं ही पूरा नहीं होने वाला है। कोशिश करिए। थैंक यू।